Welcome back to Departure Denied, a podcast centred around Harry Potter Wizards Unite. Each episode will be hosted by a group of regular WU players who take part in most, if not all, events. On these podcasts, we'll be taking a look at upcoming events, as well as expressing our opinions on the state of the game and much more. Today's edition, we're going to look back at part 1 of Burrow Beseiged. We're going to give our impressions, some discoveries, opinions, and also take a closer look at the upcoming Community Day happening on April the 18th for 24 hours, beginning 12:01 AM local time. We're going to help prepare you for that, as well as chat about a bit about our hopes and expectations. But let's start by introducing ourselves and tell you what our latest prestige page was. I'm Ray Wilmot, I'm a level 46 Magizoologist, and I've just gone silver on the Hogwarts Gate page on the wonders of the wizarding world, thanks to Grop. We'll get into that shortly, but joining me today is...
Hi, I'm Laurie, I'm a level 48 Aura, and I also just went silver on the Hogwarts Gate page, thanks to Grop.
And I'm Steph, I'm a level 50 Aura, and also just prestige Hogwarts Gate and in the silver for thanks to Grop.
Yeah, thanks Grop, that, you know, because he was due to be part of the last event, and I think they added him as part of a little bonus extra for this brilliant event, wasn't that right?
Yes, there was a lot of disappointment when he wasn't in the Mischief event.
Aww. So thanks for joining me today. We also just want to say thanks to those who've taken the time to listen to and comment on the first podcast, and welcome those who were joining us for the first time. We really appreciate the support, kind words and sentiments, and we hope you found this useful and enjoyable, so thanks for that. So yeah, on the first one we chatted about Burrow Beseiged and made some interesting comments about what we hope for from the event. Now that the event has ended, what did you make of it and how did they do?
I really enjoyed this event. Number one, because it was really good to see Grop being introduced and being able to prestige that page finally. And also, I did manage to get a couple of the cars only when I needed them. So I didn't need any of the cars, but then when I prestiged the page, that's generally what I got then was 6 of the cars and another 11 Grop. So I was really happy just to kind of take a little chunk out of that then as well, and probably would have done a little bit better if I'd managed a little bit more time on that and not on Pokemon.
Darn Pokemon.
I did get 1 or 2 cars before I prestiged, so I didn't need them, but it wasn't a lot, so I was happy. But I only got 4 after I prestiged, but 11 Grop, so quite happy with that. I didn't use any Dawdle drafts on any of them, so I did have a couple of cars depart. Probably should have, but I was just being a bit conservative with my Dawdles because I'm going to save them up.
It was definitely more Grop than flying cars, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. There were a lot more. On some Trace Tonics, I was getting 3 or 4 Grops and no cars. And in fact, at the start of the week, I was seeing more Grop than I was seeing the Baby Mandrake. I know you were seeing quite a lot on your
Yeah. Well, I managed to completely finish with Baby Mandrake Forever and Ever, Amen now.
Same. Yeah.
So I was really happy with that. And I think some of the Trace Tonics had like 5 Mandrakes per one, which I was really impressed by the amount of I was able to get from that. I think the most Grops I had was 2.
Yeah.
Definitely less cars.
Yeah, I didn't seem to find as many Grops as everybody else, but I didn't see any cars until I needed a lot of Grop. So it did take me a while to get into that, to prestige it. Like, I thought I would have prestiged it a little bit sooner than I had, but was happy to actually get there anyway, and then the cars were just a bonus then. And that's what I found. When I prestiged the page, I had a few Grops, but then towards the end, all of my tonics, I was just getting the car. And if I wasn't getting the car, I wasn't getting any Seviers at all. So I didn't really see what I thought was as many Grops as maybe I was expecting.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it was quite an interesting thing as well you mentioned about the ratio between the detonators and brilliant Rons.
Oh, yeah.
So you're saying it was like a 2-to-1 ratio?
Don't think it was a 2-to-1 ratio. I think we got about a third more decoy detonators than Ron. Because I ended up with 336 decoy detonators and 203 brilliant Ron. What about you, Steph? What did you end up with?
So I ended up on 444 decoy detonators and 284 Rons.
Wow, so that's quite a huge jump then in difference in terms of, because you clearly clicked on a lot and you've clearly caught a lot. So that's
what you get when you live on 3 ins.
Yeah. The spawns were just there. And like I said, for about 3 days, I wasn't really playing very much. As soon as I prestiged, I was really not focusing on getting them anymore, and I'd already was getting really close to the top level as well, so I wasn't really pushing it because I knew, we've got Brilliant Part 2 to come up. So wasn't really pushing it, and then, completely flew past that. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of brilliance coming in on the Trace Tonic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Huge amount.
It's like, I know that you hit level 65 2 days ago, and I hit it last night as well.
Yeah.
On that page.
Yeah.
Whereas Ray very rarely clicked on any of them. His numbers are not the same as ours. What are your numbers, Ray?
My numbers. So I saw 57 decoy detonators and 35 Ron. So I actually saw, comparatively, I saw quite a lot of Rons. It's not.
Yeah. That's the thing, because we're obviously stuck inside for a lot of the time. Ray plays a lot of different games, so Final Fantasy VII has been taking up his time. Whereas I've been pretty much running tonics 4 or 5 a day.
But also, I will say, I've been, because I know Seth lives on an inn, so, and we don't, so we're a bit of a distance. So I've been more conservative a little bit with my Spenergy, because I never sure if Monday's next when we're going to go out. So I'm kind of being a bit more mindful of that, whereas Laurie's quite happy to just blaze through and
I have good friends. They send me spell energy.
I do get spell energy gifts, I do. But you've also upped your capacity quite a lot.
I have. I'm on 400 capacity.
Yeah. Whereas I'm on about 310, so I mean that's quite a lot anyway, but
yeah.
So.
I'm on 255, and I don't think I need to up it anymore because I'm very rarely without,
Whereas we know some of our friends they're in the double figures more for capacity, aren't they?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed getting all the brilliant stuff this time. Still had the annoying thing where it does take more spell energy than it should.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I know that they reduced them from high to medium to low, but it doesn't seem that they actually adjusted it because we still take the same amount of spell energy to get them as we used to. And they can be annoying. But no, I liked aiming for that 65 and getting it done in week 1.
Did you say that you saw some people saying that they were struggling to get brilliant foundables?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I just can't imagine that. I saw so many.
All the highs. There was somebody I read earlier on Facebook saying that they're not going to be able to finish because they're on part 4 and they haven't had any high foundables for 3 days, even on the tonics.
Jeez.
That's just weird, We get more than that wild at home without using the tonic, so I'm so glad I don't live in a rural area.
I know that people have different area, like the position of the areas means they get different things, but I mean, even from the trace tonics, I mean, we've had lots of, like we say, I usually get at least either a Graup or a Weasley car from each one, or if not, I had about 5 mandrakes to supplement that.
Yeah.
So I always got something quite high or severe anyway, which is, it's funny how people haven't struggling to get one.
Yes. And people struggle with the ingredients. I've got 5 on my screen right now.
Yeah, same. I've just picked up a load now, and same with the spell energy. Just everything is quite free-flowing in my game, and it'll update every 15 minutes generally.
I don't get a lot of spell energy on the map, but I'll get a 5 or 6 a day.
Yeah.
So, that's still a lot more than some people will get.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Like, every time I open up the game, I've got at least 3 spell energy on my screen. And considering I'm not on the inns, I just don't need them.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it is difficult, but somehow they should try to look into adding more spawn points to the game in rural areas, because obviously they've increased the amount of spawns, but that's for existing spawn points. So if you were getting nothing before, as I said on the last podcast, you're still getting nothing. Increasing nothing is still nothing. So I do feel bad for those players, but don't know what they can do really about that.
Yeah.
Maybe I've seen suggestions that the trace tonics can bring in ingredients as well as foundables. I don't know if they'd be able to code that and how difficult it would be, but might be something for them to look at.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the trace tonics. I mean, because now obviously they're part of the daily tasks, as we mentioned. Like, you need to brew one and use one each day now. Yeah, they're really going to need to increase that frequency somehow, I think, for those players. Because otherwise you're not going to be able to do daily tasks either. So it's almost not really worth changing it around to be able to do that. So
yeah. I mean, people are not going to want to go for the foundables if they haven't got the spell energy to catch or return everything that they get from it. So.
That's it. Yeah. So, but all in all, you enjoyed the event anyway, Steph. Did you enjoy it, Laurie?
I did, yeah. I like my frequency of groups. I know I could have got a lot more if I used more tonics, but I didn't have the spell energy every day to keep doing that, and also, have other stuff to do. But
how many did you end up on at the end?
I think I've got 11 on the silver page. Yeah, 11 and 4 cars.
Yeah.
6 cars.
2 depart on me yesterday, actually, cars.
It's quite a jump, isn't it? Because the 49 groups then.
And 49 cars.
And 49, it's quite a jump, isn't it, to silver?
Yeah.
Definitely.
21 Whomping Willows.
Oof, that's going to be fun.
That's my tricky one, as we know.
Yeah. At one point, we saw a lot of Whomping Willows. I think it was post, because they were part of a community, weren't they? So I think we saw quite a few of them then, but they've gradually, slowly disappeared again off the...
I tend to find that the ones that are in events, I might see them for a couple of days after, and then they just disappear.
Yeah.
For a very long time.
Yeah.
But no, I quite enjoyed the Brilliant event this time. I don't always, because it's very samey, but no, I liked it because they added in those extra bits. It made me keep playing every single day rather than barely playing after I'd finished the tasks.
Yeah, I think you had something to push for. And I think that, that's why my Brilliant spawns were so much. It wasn't just because of the ins, but because I was doing the tonics. It was just an abundance of them. And where probably a lot of people were just ignoring them, I was clicking on them and getting them because I got the spell energy to do it. So
Yeah. And all the tasks were really easy. I mean, I was done with them I could have been done in one night, but I didn't want to use all 3 of my tonics that night, so I used one the next day.
Yeah.
Remember, we did a Zoom chat with our group for the start of the event, and people had done up to part 4 by the time we finished. So, yeah. I mean, I know there were people saying, like I said, about the high threat foundables, they weren't getting them, but...
Yeah, that was me.
For like an hour, but I saw some people complaining that they used a tonic and didn't get one, and I was thinking, well, that's just half an hour. Use a few tonics, and then if you didn't get them off 3 or 4, fair enough, you'd expect at least 1 high from that many tonics, but not from 1.
Yeah, like sometimes it was taking me 2 or 3 to get one. I think, well, on the first ones, I didn't get anything until my 3rd tonic. And that happened at least 3 times, I think, during the event. So I would use two tonics and not have anything high from it. Which, yeah. But I mean, I had the mandrakes, so, because I still needed those, so I wasn't too disheartened that I wasn't getting any groups, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I used, out of 3 last night, the first 2 I didn't even get mandrake, or a group, or a car, and then on the next one I had 3 groups, a car, and 3 mandrake. So, yeah. But no, I enjoyed them. All the tasks were so easy for people to do at home, and I do really appreciate that they've changed a lot to be able to play at home.
Yeah,
it's got to be difficult because the game is meant for exploring outside, not playing at home, but they have adapted quite a lot. I
mean, I found the Circus Calamitous was good. I mean, they'd obviously taken a lot of feedback on board and they'd improved a lot of things ready for, lockdown. But I feel like this felt better again. Like this really felt completely... I could just play this for myself for now. I don't need to go outside. And then you have the daily tasks as well, that they've all changed now. So they've really, I feel like on that regard, they've learned a lot about, the feedback they had from March, and they've really taken that forward and improved it a lot.
Something that I keep thinking about, but I've forgotten to mention, is that they've taken away the potion boosts that they added in for the Brilliant events. Where a few Brilliant events ago, they were putting in, so if you placed all the images of one of the Brilliant foundables, it would give you 6 casts on a potent instead of 5 casts. I don't know why they've got rid of that, because I really liked that.
I'm
trying to find...
I kept on forgetting about it. And forgetting which one I was really aiming to complete first, and I think I really wasted it because I didn't place all my port keys, and I can't remember what the port key one gave. But it was the best one that I wanted and didn't do it for like 4 or 5 days. So really didn't make the
There's
most
that
of
clear
it.
one, isn't there, that you always want to go for? And I think there was one with Baratheon bonus. I think I really wanted to go for.
It was a 2.5 times XP multiplier when you place the 5 Order of Merlin from the Portkeys.
Ah, right, yeah.
That would be it.
Yeah, and then there was the one where if you placed McGonagall, you had 15 foundables from a Trace Tonic. Obviously, right now it's 30 anyway, so they can't really improve on that. Yeah. But yeah, I quite liked the XP boost. That was good.
Well, obviously, Brilliant Event was great, but we could talk about it for a long time. But we do have a lot more to look forward to in April, and that begins with a 24-hour community day on April the 18th. But we're going to chat about the elephant in the room first of all, because it also clashes with another game that's also doing something on that day that was supposed to be in Liverpool, but now isn't. And I just figured to myself, can you imagine if we tried to be in Liverpool and tried to do this community day as well? I mean, that would have been wow.
If they had stuck to the dates and there was no lockdown, we would not have been able to do this community day within 3 hours, because I paid for a Pokemon Go event, so I will concentrate on that event more. I mean, it's good that the community day is going to be 24 hours, so I'll have some time for both. But yeah, why couldn't they make it a different weekend? Because, I mean, we've all got Saturday tickets, so obviously it's completely clashed for us. Some people do have Friday and Sunday tickets, so they'll be okay, because they get the spawns on the day that they were going to get the spawns anyway for Pokemon Go. But yeah, for the...
There's been quite a bit of crossover lately. I mean, obviously, as we're recording this, the Brilliant event finished at 6 o'clock, and we also had the Spotlight Hour.
7 o'clock.
Sorry, 7 o'clock, yeah. And the Spotlight Hour starts at 6 and ends at 7. So there seems to be a lot of crossover between the two games at the moment in terms of the timings of things.
Well,
which is strange. With
Pokemon Go especially, there seems to be an event, constant event. There doesn't seem to be very much time when there's not something going on. So I don't mind events crossing over. It's more when it's a one-day event and they both on the same day. Yeah. So far, we've only had one community day that was on the same day as each other before. I can't remember which ones those were a few months ago. I think it might have been the one that there was 2 days for Pokemon Go.
Yeah, something like that. Right?
Yes.
I mean, I'm just trying to imagine myself with 2 phones trying to play Wizards Unite and Pokemon Go, walking around parks in Liverpool, and I'm just like that just would not have worked. So I'm very glad that we're in the position that we're in.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's 24 hours, but yeah, really upset that they've done this again to us. I really want to make the most of these events, and it's almost disheartening, because it's like you've got to make a choice. And yeah, like you said, the choice is I paid for this Pokemon event, so I'm gonna focus everything I can on it. But at the same time, I'm thinking, what if there's a picket? So I can run the 2 phones. I have the plan. The plan is there. I'm gonna 2 phone. How long that plan is actually going to pan out for, I don't know, because it'll just be like, I can't cope anymore. I can't cope. This phone's going to a bag. I've had enough. I won't be putting any tonics on at the same time. I think I'm going to save those before and afterwards. And maybe, just try not to sleep for the 24 hours. Don't sleep. Yeah. 24 hours, a lot of coffee, a lot of chocolate.
Well, my plan is to take a daily walk at midnight.
Laurie o'clock.
Well, I don't know, actually. If I go out at 10 to midnight, does that class as the walk from the day before? I think so. So go out for an hour or so and try to get as many pickets as possible. And then come home, go to sleep, and wake up for the Pokemon event. Focus on that for a few hours.
I thought we agreed we're not sleeping.
Oh, yeah. Maybe no spot. I probably won't sleep. Yeah. I mean, I probably won't sleep. But, so then as soon as the Pokemon event starts, I'm going to focus on that for a few hours on its own, with maybe some Trace Tonics going on Woo. Oh. And then, luckily, it finishes at 6 p.m, the Pokemon event. So then we can focus again on Wizards Unite. Although some of our bonuses do last the whole weekend because we had the City Explorer pass for Liverpool.
Yes, another logistic that I hadn't even thought about.
But that's only like half egg action distance, which we've got at the moment anyway. Yeah. So we're going to have a quarter. Is it going to be half and then half again? No idea.
I mean, I would imagine it is because otherwise it's not really a bonus.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's Niantic, so.
Right.
Who knows?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, well, obviously we've talked about like the fact that it is clashing, but it is a really good community day because it's going to feature the entirety of the Central Park page via the Magizoology track. So just to recap, we've mentioned Picket, which I think is obviously the highlight. I mean, they're so incredibly rare, so very excited to get those. But you can also get the Branch of the Bowtruckles, a Rumpant, a Mountain Troll, which also is quite rare. Demiguise, extremely rare at times.
They always depart on me.
Always depart. And Murtlap are going to be available in special light blue 1 kilometre portkeys. So yeah, there's some decent stuff in there. I mean, the Demiguise, the Picket, and the Murtlap are going to be quite... I think they're the things I'm going to be focusing on, definitely.
Well, I need 3 Demiguise and 31 Pickets to get the silver.
Yeah.
That's it. I have everything else.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's great. This is 24 hours, so I mean, you can just dip in and out of it whenever you like. You can literally stay up from beginning to end if you want to, and try and blast your way through the entire page. Maybe get to gold, maybe prestige it all the way. I think it's a really good community actually. It's a good page to focus on.
I was a bit worried when they said it was going to be 24 hours because I thought, does this mean it's not going to be much of a boost? You know, is it going to be Gropgate all over again? But I've been thinking, even though it's 24 hours, some people are not going to be able to spend very long playing, especially if people still working. I know it's a Saturday, but a lot of key workers are really busy right now, so they might still be working. So they've got to expect that they are going to want to complete the tasks and maybe prestige the page at least once.
Yeah.
So then seeing the tasks, it made me more hopeful that they are going to be quite boosted.
Yeah, the tasks, we'll come back to that in a minute, but there's a bit of discrepancy between the tasks at the moment, so we'll come to that very shortly. But also they've mentioned as well the spell energy beyond the map, as we've come used to that, a decreased flee rate, which does make me a little concerned as to how resistant they're planning these to be.
I do think they have a decreased flee rate always, they just don't mention it. For instance, with the Grawps, I don't think they were as difficult to get as they were normally. I was just using great strong potions on them. I didn't use any dawdles or potents, and I was getting the majority of them.
And as you mentioned, Trace Tonics, of course, will have increased spawns. So we have a community day, which is interesting because we didn't get March's community day with Fred and George, and we don't know when that's going to be rescheduled, whether that's going to come back. Do you think it was harder for them to try and rework that event rather than build this one from scratch to be at home? And do you think that event will come back around at some point?
Yeah, I'm really surprised that they didn't just switch it. So that would be this month's event and then this one would be the next month. So really surprised that they haven't really said anything about that one. And, it just got kind of cancelled and that was that.
Yeah.
I would imagine they, since they put the work into it, that, it would actually come out at some point. Whether it'll be, 2 in 1 month when everything is kind of back to normal in most countries, I don't know. But
it feels like this month had a Magizoology theme. So they wanted to make sure that theme remained, like they had it in their mind. I guess I'm wondering how, I'm just trying to work how they do it, but I imagine each month they probably have a theme to which kind of track they want to focus on. And this month feels like it has a Magizoology theme, so I guess they wanted to maintain that somehow.
Yeah, with the Natures and Nifflers event at the end of the month. But yeah, also, I was the one who, I brought up that perhaps it would have been difficult for them to rework that event with Fred and George, because we've known that they've said that they can't change some tasks for events. Like, for instance, the one that was visit 3 inns for the last event where people couldn't do it, and they said they weren't able to change it. So perhaps once they've already, created an event, it's quite difficult to change it. So they just thought it was easier to make a new event and code those tasks from the start to be playable from home.
Yeah.
But then I saw that they have actually changed the tasks already. Even though we haven't seen it, they did have different tasks for the Community Day event, as we've found from a YouTuber, Animagus, who was reading out the tasks, and they were all different to the tasks that he put up on the screen, which were orange wizards from his infographic. So it does seem like they've already changed the tasks. They look much better now, especially because in the original tasks you only needed 5 pickets, which I thought, oh god, they're going to be hard to find. But no, you need 10, so they're going to be easier. Yeah, they did have a theme this month as well. Yeah.
And it was the Legends of Hogwarts was the theme last month, because obviously we had the young auras. So, I mean, it feels like that's
Marauders.
what Marauders, sorry, not young auras. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, it's obviously they I feel like that's how they play it. And I guess in their schedule calendar that they wanted to make sure that this stayed the same. But I guess it's a little strange that they've moved on from this community day now, so they're going to have to find somewhere else to slot that in at some point, whether that's this time next year, or whether that's later this year, or who knows where. But it's I'm grateful for it, because I'm extremely excited the fact that we're going to get lots of pickets. I've been desperate to prestige that page.
You prestige it once, though.
Prestige it once, but prestige it again, because it's the only thing I need on that page now. So I'm extremely...
There are people who have never seen Pickett.
Well, there's that too, I mean, Pickets are that rare.
Or have only seen one.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I mean, I haven't seen many, and whenever I've seen it on... Because I used to get a lot from Portkeys. So whenever I've seen them in the wild... I've always felt like, wait, what's this? What's this? I got half confused what it was, because it reminds me of the Bowtruckles as well. I'm like, oh, this is actually a picket. Okay.
I've seen 12, but I've obviously had more than 12, because you needed 11 to prestige, and I've got 2 on the next page. So I've had at least 13, but I'm sure 1 or 2 actually departed on me in the beginning before Dawdle drafts were guaranteed catch.
I've always found it strange as well, because I've never been able to work this out, because Picket is only a severe, right?
Yes.
So whereas I have actually seen more emergency foundables, Newt, for instance, I've actually seen more Newts in my time playing than I have severes.
Yeah,
it's very odd. Like I feel like the sort of the rate in which they spawn comparatively seems off.
Yes, I've seen 27 Newt on the Magizoology page.
That's crazy, isn't it?
To 12 Picket.
To 12.
It's more than double.
More than double, yeah.
So do you think that's because we always do our dark detectors as we always lure it up with the highest case then?
It's odd, because most of the Pickets that I have got have not been off dark detectors.
No, mine neither.
Whereas some of the Newts have been. I mean, I've got quite a few, wild ones, but more of the Newts had definitely come off dark detectors than Picket, which is weird, because I think the emergency on dark detectors are not as common as our severes. We always get a lot of severes and the odd emergency. And there was a problem with Portkeys as well, where when you'd open a 10k Portkey, it would give you the Magizoology XP, but then it would be I can't remember, I think it was Pensieve, so you'd get a Pensieve instead. So the foundable that you were getting didn't match the XP. And it was only ever Magizoology that I noticed that with, and a few of us noticed it, because I remember James picked it up right in the beginning when he had one, which it should have been Picket. So I think maybe there was a problem with them in the Portkey coding. I don't know whether that's still now after they changed them. They've changed them twice, haven't they? They changed them to the bad rewards, and now they put the good rewards back in.
Rewards. Now they've widened the pool a bit now, haven't they?
Yeah.
So I mean, I still get werewolves in my 10k, which is a little bit irksome.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But then and then sometimes I'll get a young Harry, or I'll get or a Pensieve, and I'm like, okay, I remember why these are great.
Yeah, I got young Harry the other day and prestige to gold. So
excellent. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, it's a weird ratio I find with the severes and the emergencies. I don't think they've got that balance right somehow, and I've especially since, as we say, Pickets are so incredibly rare. I mean, like, seeing them in the wild is like it's a really big deal. Like, we post about it, so I'm like, oh my god, drop everything, run.
Not right now, but yes, we normally use our Telegram group to post if you found something rare. And then everybody tries to decide if they can get to it in time.
Or if they can be bothered to change out their pyjamas.
Or just don't change out your pyjamas and just walk down the street in them.
So yeah, some of us have come down in pyjamas before.
Yeah.
But it's quite...
I mean, ideally put clothes on if you just come out the shower. You probably should do that at least.
Yeah.
Because that could be a little bit...
Especially if you live opposite a police station.
At least I have pajamas on.
Yes. But that's something as well that we've never been able to figure out is how long something stays. Like, we've known something like a severe to stay 15, 20 minutes, and then other times less than 5 minutes. It's like, with Pokemon, you can usually figure out how long a spawn is going to be there for, but not with Wizards Unite.
Yeah, there doesn't seem consistency.
It's not consistent. And it would be great if it was, because then we'd be able to use that more to tell the community, oh, look, there's something there. You've got 15 minutes to get to it.
But yeah, I mean, obviously this community day is looking really, really good. I'm really excited for it. And I think for me, these are like, I know we've talked about the Brilliant events being really cool. I think the community day is my favourite part of the monthly activities on Woo. And I'm really looking forward to these tasks. Obviously, we've mentioned there's been some discrepancy between what Orange Wizard has posted and what Animagus has posted.
Well, Animagus did put up Orange Wizard's actual tasks. So he put up the right image, but he read out different tasks. So I don't know whether he's just edited the video but not the audio. So
we'll break it down. So basically, Animagus originally said that you can collect energy from the map 2 times for 2 unicorn hair. But Orange Wizard has now said that you collect 2 ingredients or portmanteaus for 1 dragon claw, which is quite a difference.
Yeah.
And then Animagus has said use 1 trace tonic for 1 unicorn hair, whereas Orange Wizard has said use tonic for trace 2 times for 2 toadstools. So again, quite different. Animagus said earn 30 Magizoology XP for 3 Murtlap, whereas Orange Wizard has said earn 300 Magizoology XP for 1 Baruffio. So you've seen already there are some quite big differences between what has been said. What has remained fairly consistent is returning mountain trolls, returning Demiguise and Pickets.
But
just the numbers are different, but the rewards pretty much remain the same.
They were all halved because there was 10 mountain trolls, 10 Demiguise, 5 Picket, whereas now it's 20 mountain trolls and Demiguise and 10 Pickets. But yeah, the rewards, we were always getting 15 Murtlap, as we're getting now, but previously we were going to get 3 unicorn hairs, but now we get a Baruffio, 2 toadstools and a dragon claw instead. So obviously they've decided that people would be happier with Baruffios over potents.
But bear in mind as well, these may not be final, because we've multiple times the tasks have come out and then they've actually changed at the last minute, and so they may be reworking these.
And they've come out really early too. They came out like a week before, which don't normally get them that early.
So it could be different. But yeah, there's quite a difference between that, and obviously it could be further changes for Community Day.
Yeah.
But my main takeaway from that was it seems they've increased the amount of pickets you need for Murtlap. So does that mean that pickets are going to be more common?
That's what I was hoping. As soon as I seen that, I was like, yeah, they should be. Because, like I said, some people won't have no more than the normal 3 hours to play, so they've got to be able to get all the tasks done.
So if that is the case, obviously we mentioned the 24-hour Community Day, then does that mean then I'm going to be able to be done with my pickets quite early on and then I can focus on Pokemon?
That's my hope. But no, I like that they're giving 15 Murtlap, because I don't need any until I get to Silver Page. But I know that some people haven't quite, placed that image and they can't get out to fortresses to do that. But my suggestion to anybody who needs an odd number is to get them from port keys, so the 1 kilometre port key. A lot of people can either drift at home or turn off the app, leave on Adventure Sync and walk around and unlock them. Because if you only need 7 Murtlap on the page that you're on, it's only worth claiming 1 lot of 5 and then getting the 2 from port keys, so then you save the next 10 for the prestige page. That way you don't waste any of the Murtlaps.
Yeah. I think it's good that they're giving them Murtlaps, especially as people can't do the port keys and or may not be able to do as many port keys. It is a good option then that it just has those as a backer. If you can't get out of war, then they can just pick up those ones and still not feel like they're missing out really on that page when they do Prestige.
Yeah, the only thing I wish they had done, they haven't mentioned it, so I don't know whether they've planned to add it or not, but in previous Community Days they've done where a foundable is guaranteed from Tower 5 and up in fortresses. And I know that not everybody is going to be able to get to a fortress, but for me it would have been easier to do fortressing than walking off portkeys. So on the next page, on silver, I'll need 21 Murtlap. I can only get 15 from the task, so I either have to walk off 6 portkeys, or I could have just nipped to my fortress just outside and done 6 fortress battles really quickly and got those. So yeah, and I know some people can reach it from home, whereas they can't go out walking. So yeah, I wish that they'd given both options there, fortress or portkey, and that would have helped more players.
Because it's still, like you say, it's still the whole thing of having to walk portkeys to a certain point as well. I mean, obviously I know they're going to reduce the distance, but you still kind of have to do that walking. And how much, realistically, how many laps of your flat can you do, you know, in 24 hours? Or how many times are you going to go up and down the stairs?
Or how many times can you bounce a sock?
Yeah.
I am saying nothing. Absolutely nothing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's, you get what I mean. It's kind of like, if you've got access to a fortress, it would have been easier to have done it that way, I think. And you probably could get through more. Well, you would get through more, I think. But yeah, all in all, though, I'm really looking forward to it. And as you say, hopefully this means increased spawns for Picket. Because it sounds like the Murtlap, it sounds like they need quite a few to get Murtlaps anyway.
Yeah.
Interesting to know. I wonder how long people will play Community Day on average, though. I mean, there are obviously going to be some people who are going to play from start to finish.
Yeah, especially if they don't have a Pokemon event.
But yeah, I mean, there may be people who literally may dip in for an hour. I think that'll be interesting analytics for them to look at going forward, because obviously, you know, like Community Days in general, they only last a couple of hours, don't they?
Yeah, 3 hours, which is quite difficult for some people. Like, some people work every weekend, so they're never able to actually join in for those 3 hours. So yeah, it would be quite interesting for them to figure out if there are people who are only taking advantage for a few hours or for the whole day, because then in future they might think, well, we can do it for 24 hours
going forward.
Yeah, or whether or not, I don't know. We know that with events, you need some of them, like for instance, the Pokemon event, you need a ticket to be able to get into that event. So there's always been talk about whether or not they could do community days that way. You can use that ticket to enter the community day for yourself for 3 hours. Time. No, only for 3 hours, but at any point within that day. Whether or not they can do that, but. Yeah, that would help out people who are never able to do them. Yeah,
but maybe also having a premium option that people could extend their community if they wanted to. So you could increase it to 8 hours if that's you could pay for it to do that.
Yeah, I kind of would never want that though. I know that these games are pay to play if you want them to be, but that's a definite pay to play then. You know? Yeah. I
suppose it depends. I mean, I think that's the beauty of this community today, is that everyone is going to have a different path. So obviously there are tasks and they kind of structure what you do. But I mean, there are going to be people at different stages, like we've mentioned, that people have never seen a Picket before, so they've never proceded that page. So this will be the first time they've done that. There are some people who are not even interested in procedure. Maybe they're just looking for one particular foundable and they're going to focus on that. Some people are going to try and max it, so everyone is going to get their own little path that they're going to focus on through the community, which I think is really cool about it.
Yeah, and I like that they're turning off landmarks. I've seen a lot of people saying that all of the events so far are not very good for them because the landmarks are still on. I know they normally turn them off during Community Day, but they didn't for the Brilliant event. So it wasn't. Some people were saying they weren't getting as many, for instance, Grop spawns and things because they're in a landmark area, and that's what they were getting, was those family spawns. So I don't know, I think that they should turn off landmarks completely right now, because it's very difficult for anybody living inside a landmark to play the game as normal. So that would be good. I mean, we don't live in a landmark, but there's one right next to us, so we always see more Care of Magical Creatures spawns.
I was going to ask, like, both of you, like, what do you need to do? What are your goals for the community today? Like, what do you need to do to prestige the page? I'm assuming we're all in the same boat. We all need Picket.
Yeah, I just need Picket, and I need 26 of them. So a little bit less than Laurie, I think. I don't need anything else. It's just those. So just need to get those as soon as I can, so that everything else then will kind of count again. Then hopefully by the time I've got all my Pickets, I'll claim my Murtlap and then get the chunk of those done, if I'm lucky. that'll be before Pokemon, and I can walk some portkeys or do some fortresses and get my Murtlaps done and dusted before that, so that any spawns that I see, I can kind of, they're all counting towards prestige in that page. Into gold, it'll be then?
Yeah.
So after I've done my pickets and then, So hopefully, my goal is gold.
Same as me. I would like to try and... I'd like to try and go as far as I can, but I mean, gold, if I at least hit that, I'll be happy, I think. Because I need 32 pickets. I've only actually seen 11 pickets in my time.
Well, that's for the first page, and then you've got one from a portkey, I guess.
From portkey,
Yeah, so, I need the 3 demiguys. They just depart on me. The last 10 have departed. I can't bring myself to use a dawdle on a demiguise. Anybody who hasn't prestiged the page yet or doesn't know the numbers, with Picket, it's 11 for the first page, 33 for bronze, 49 on silver page, and 59 on gold. That's going to be hard to do all the way up to gold, I think, for a lot of people. For Murtlap, it's 15 on the base page, then drops to 14 on the bronze page, and then up to 21 on silver, 25 on gold. I think those two would be the hardest to do, because Picket's going to be not as common, I don't think, as the other foundables, and the Murtlaps are going to be difficult to walk off as many portkeys as you need or get to a fortress. Other spawns are not too bad. Demiguise and Mountain Troll are 8, then 24, then 36, then 43. A Rumpant is 4, then 12, 24, 36. And Bowtruckles is the same as a Rumpant.
So it's definitely another thing to bear in mind as well. Leave as many spaces for portkeys as you can. Just wipe your selection out if you can, and just try and leave it open, because you're going to want them.
Yeah, I know it's difficult for some people. They're not able to open all the portkeys they picked up from the Brilliant event. But yeah, try to get as many open before, because remember, the Murtlap will count even after Community Day is over. If you've already got those portkeys, you can walk them any time.
Yeah.
So, and they'll still give you Murtlap, or at least that's how it's always worked with every other portkey.
Yeah.
I can't see that changing now.
Hopefully not.
So will you be using your silver keys to open those?
I won't be for the silver page, because I only need 6. Yeah. So I think I'll be okay getting those while I'm doing some Pokemon. So I won't be as focused. But then it depends how quick I get the pickets on the silver page. If I'm getting them really quick and I think, I can get to gold, then I may use them. I've been quite lucky with the keys. I've got quite a lot of them at the moment. What have I got? 38 silver keys. They've been dropping quite frequently for me. I think I was only on 20 about 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, I've seen a few you say today, like how your portkeys, dark detectors and silver keys have been dropping lately. I've not been finding that for me, but...
Really? Oh,
it's because you haven't been catching anything.
Yeah, we saw your count of...
Fair.
Seriously, if for nothing else, it's worth using the spell energy to get these silver keys. I got lots of coins from it. And I'm on 24 dark detectors, and I know that I was only on 8 before we went into social distancing about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think we had our last big blast out of a dark detector session before all this. So,
then social distancing happened. But yeah, so it's worth spending that spell energy for those.
It's going to be good. There's I think, as I say, there's different strategies for different people. So yeah.
Yeah. So there was another thing that I picked up from Animagus's YouTube video. He mentioned that there was going to be a new update in a few days.
Oh.
And that I can't remember the exact wording, but he said something about there would be a big change coming that would help us play from home in the next update. So we've been trying to figure out what that would be. We all instantly thought fortressing, because that's what everybody wants, some kind of remote fortressing, whether that's just enabling us to go into any fortress we can reach, expanding our range that we can reach, using a potion or flu powder to get to one.
Flu powder. Yeah.
Whatever way they do it, that's what we want. We want to be able to enter fortressing. And that's a massive part of the game that we're all missing. But it could also be the half distance from portkeys that they've been trying to implement for the last month and haven't quite got there yet. Could be that, or it could be something completely that we're not even thinking about. But
so which would you prefer? Would you prefer the half distance on the portkeys, or being able to use fortresses again?
fortresses, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, portkeys, I'm still able to go out for a walk right now if I want to. There are ways you can open them at home if you want to. But with fortressing, they're
just thinking of the sock and the phone.
Yeah. Or, you know, like I said, I have a robotic vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there are ways to do that, but not with fortressing, especially since they've halved the distance. I can't just go in and come home anymore. I'm literally a few meters away. So it's not good, and I miss it. And I know that I would spend money to pay for spell energy to continue in a fortress. Whereas right now I'm not really buying any spell energy. I just wait for gifts to come in. If I could fortress, I would probably buy the spell energy to keep battling, for sure.
And also there's a lot of people who haven't really had the opportunity to fortress properly.
Yeah.
So I guess that they've either had to travel far out of their way to go to a fortress, or they've had to be in a group of people to go to a fortress. Whereas if you've kind of got some kind of remote lobby system where, like, if you liken it to games like Call of Duty, or you liken it to a World of Warcraft where you find a party or something like that, it's already works in games all the time. So it would be great to have a similar situation with WoW, where, like, you can just literally connect online, join a lobby, and go into a fortress.
Yeah.
Have a party system.
There are people who haven't finished that SOS task of doing a fortress with 3 people total.
Yeah.
Never found anybody. But we know that Pokemon Go, we've seen information that they're going to have remote raiding, which will be a remote battle pass. Don't know how it's going to work exactly, and I really hope that they will not make it so restrictive for home play, because reading some of the data, it's saying that there can only be a certain number of remote players to people who are actually at the raid, at the gym. But right now, nobody can really go outside to go to the gym, or at least they shouldn't be going out for that purpose, really. It's not essential to go out and raid. So I don't know whether they'll be able to do something like that with WoW. Passes that you can use to enter a fortress. Maybe we can earn 1 a day from daily tasks, but then they'll be in the shop for us to buy if we wanted to continue. I wouldn't mind that. It doesn't have to be completely free. I would like if it was, but, but I understand it's a game and they need to make money somehow. So they could give, 1 per day for free, like they do with raid passes, and then you can buy premium fortress passes.
I do think long-term benefits for the game, fortressing would definitely be the best way to go. So if you've got a flu powder system in place, you're able to bring it in now. Now is the perfect time to bring that in because no one can go out anyway. And you can stabilize it then. You can kind of tweak it. You can almost like beta test it essentially, and to get it right. And then now's the time to implement it if that's what they're doing. It's probably going to be half distance sport.
Because between events, there isn't really a lot to do. I mean, you're just getting the same foundables that we're pretty much gold on, most of them, so we don't need them anymore. So unless there's an event going on, it's going to get a bit tedious, I think, without the fortressing, because as we've mentioned before, fortressing for us as a community is a massive part of the game. From the start, we always had a good community to do Dark Sectors with and fortressing with, and we've always used it as a social game.
If they did bring in a system like that for WoW as well as they do for Pokemon, then it's only going to bring players back into the game and back into good social habits and being able to talk to each other, a little bit more often then as well. And I do think if it was a paid product, I would probably use it. However, I think this is the same with Pokemon actually. I think for where we are at the minute, I don't think it should be charged.
No.
And especially for the testing stage, as you said, just have it free for the time being. At least, for Pokemon, you have the 3 daily raid pass. Just make it free for now until all of this is over. Then, bring it into the system, have your normal free one, and then have the other ones as paid ones. And I think if they did that as well with WoW, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
And, you know, long-term strategy-wise, it would be better for them to do that anyway, because then if people, it becomes part of their game balance diet, shall we say, and they add it into there, and once it's premium and they find, actually, I really like this, and I don't want to be without it, then actually they're more inclined to buy it and spend money on it. Then perhaps if you just said, right, we're going to put this on a paywall immediately, and immediately you got that hurdle, right, well, I'm never going to try this because I don't know what I'm getting myself into.
As long as they were upfront about it in the beginning and say, look, this is going to be a paid product, but for now, we're allowing a little bit of it, if not all of it, for free. And
then, you know, if there are problems, then they don't actually have to refund anybody.
Yeah, because, I mean, look how long it took them to implement the start button. That came in and went out and was having lots of problems. I mean, it was perfect before lockdown. Haven't tried it much. With big groups, but before lockdown it was really good and it was working very well. But that was after a false start where people were losing a lot of runestones. Yeah. So they can't really do that. They really need to make sure that what they're implementing works. So give it for free to test it out, because I don't know how much QA they're doing before things come out, but with the port keys, they did actually put it in for half distance port key, but they had to quickly take it out because there was a bug in it. And that seems to be the case with a lot of new features. There are bugs.
Bugs? Not spiders, I hope.
No.
Not a fan of spiders. But I think it'll be cool to see what the new features are, and obviously they're still in the process of figuring out how the game can be played, not being outside, as is Niantic with Pokemon Go, and but I do think definitely Pokemon Go has benefited much more from this. And again, I mean, you think about the scale of what they're doing on Saturday with the Safari Zone event, bringing that, literally that was going to be a massive community. You're going to be walking around in parks in Liverpool, going to be collecting Relicanth, you're going to be collecting all these rare shinies and things like that. And they've basically made it playable now, so you can literally be sat watching Disney Plus on your TV, on your sofa, and doing exactly that. I mean, the scale of that is incredible.
Is that what you plan on doing?
I mean, yeah. But
yeah.
But I mean, that's where they ideally want to get. And obviously that's going to take time. It's a newer game, but, it can be done. I think we've seen it can be done.
Yeah. And I hope that the new update will come out before Community Day.
Yeah.
I can't wait any longer now. I know that it's coming. I have no patience. But hopefully they won't try to make the event work around it. For instance, with Adventure Sync, where they had an event that was meant for it, where you had to open 10 port keys for the bonus task and 5 for the other tasks. One of the brilliant events. And then Adventure Sync didn't work. And then it was really tough for people to open that many port keys. That was bad. So, I'm glad that nothing so far that they've told us about for Community Day includes anything that's going to be new. Although if they do add in remote fortressing, they could potentially add in guaranteed Murtlap from Tower 5 or whatever chamber they want to do it from.
But hype for Community Day either way. It's going to be great. I'm very much looking forward to pickets. Pickets everywhere. Not kind of picking your nose picket, just pickets. You don't go around literally going outside saying picket to people. And just...
Oh my God, I never thought about that. Can you imagine?
And especially if you've got kids in your flat, right?
This is where your brain takes you.
It goes places like flu powder. It goes whoosh.
Now you know what I have to put up with every day.
I've got my own. Don't worry, you're not on your own.
Damn right. I mean, I'm really starting to. But really looking forward to that. And that is going to do it for today's show. We hope you enjoyed our Community Day conversations on this edition of Departure Denied. A massive thank you to you all for being part of the show. Stay tuned as we'll be looking at the rest of the events in April and chatting much more about Wizards Unite in the days and weeks ahead. For now, thanks for tuning in. May your foundables never depart and your fortresses always be favourable.